All right, what's going on, everybody? So I'm on X. I'm streaming on X. I'm just trying to test this out to see if it's better to stream on X or if I should just stick to TikTok. I don't know how I'm gonna judge that, but if you're, just makes me wonder, like, what are the benefits of streaming on X versus TikTok? I don't really know if X is going to be developing into a platform that's a good thing for streamers, or if it's just going to be a social media conversation thing that has streamers. Or maybe X needs more live streamers. I don't know. The big conversations I see happening on X all have to do basically around cryptocurrency. But this is the space for that, then maybe that's the only thing that'll grow X. Anyway, if you're here, feel free to say hello, say what's up. This is an open live chat. We're going to be doing some art here. I've started this, it's not really like a whole piece. It's really just a combination of different projects and just putting them all together. And so we're going to be knocking that out. But also, I'm live streaming on other platforms. And the message for today, I usually like to start with some sort of message. The message for today, for people that are into art or whatever, is the idea that a unique art style, and I made up this math equation for art. Can you believe that? Math plus art, does that really go along together? I guess it does, aesthetics-wise. But a personal style is going to come from your art habits plus your creative interests. So, all of the things that make you, your habits, whether it be, you're totally perfectionist or you're a total chaotic painter or whatever, those are going to be your habits, your quirks, those things that you do that, if someone was to see you walking down a street and, you have a certain gait, your habits meets your creative interests. So, anything that you're interested in, or life experiences or anything like that, when those two things come together, the habits plus your interests, you're going to ultimately come up with a unique style, something that other people might be able to emulate, but they're not going to be able to have your perspective on it. They're not going to be able to have your way of doing things. And even if they were able to copy your way of doing things, they wouldn't be able to do it consistently, because habits are habits. They take a long time to develop. Whether it be total perfectionism, even perfectionism is a habit. Technical skills are habits. And, those are going to ultimately influence your artwork and help to influence your personal style. So, that is my message, my overarching message for today. I live record these on YouTube. So I figure on YouTube, people are only going to watch like the first 45 seconds to get the message anyway. So I leave that message for the beginning, but here, from here onto the end of this stream, we're going to be doing just painting and chatting. So if you have a project, by the way, this is a totally open, commercially free room. So, if you decide that you want to talk about your project, if you want to talk about your artwork, if you think you could steal my viewers, go for it. So I'm totally open to anybody and everything, every project that people would like to share. That's the one thing I can't stand about a lot of places is, a lot of online platforms is if you kind of like share something that you're working on like someone else's page, they get so upset. I don't know why. Like especially on like Facebook groups, people like ban you because you have something that you're proud of that you talk about. I know a lot of these like pages, they're kind of like, for profit. They only want people who are paying to have ads on their platform. I get it, but you know what? I like to constantly hear about people's ideas, people's new projects, people's goals, people's ambitions, and So introduction here for those of you on X. But Sean Lewis, welcome. Jehovah's, welcome. What's going on? So Jehovah's said, thanks, Sean. Jehovah's says he goes to art school. What's going on, Jehovah's? What kind of art school do you go to? I know there's a lot of different types of art schools. There's a digital art school. There's classical atelier art schools. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Atelier. I guess is the as you might correctly say it in French. So I'm gonna do this smaller arm sketch, and let's go ahead and get started. So we did a green on this. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna start with like a yellow here, and again, like the overarching message that I want to share today is this idea that your art, if you're looking to figure out how to develop your own style, I made up this equation, and it's this: your personal art style is going to come from a combination of your personal habits plus your interests. So anything that's like a habit, right? This might be something that you can't keep yourself from doing, like, maybe you're painting or drawing, and you can't draw for the life of you draw a straight line. That's okay. That becomes an element of your personal habit. That becomes some unique quality of you, and that is what will make your art unique. Even if you can't figure out right now how that's going to happen, because for whatever reason some people put such a high value on drawing straight lines or drawing perfect circles, which is kind of weird. Like, why would anybody be so obsessed with drawing a perfect circle if they're an artist? I don't know. Someone must have told them that they have to. I get that because I go in these drawing groups, and there's a lot of people who say things like, "Oh, I can't draw a straight line. Like, am I gonna fail, or can I still be an artist if I can't, draw perfect circles?" And I just find that so interesting because, it's just one of those things. Like, for me, I've always been the type of person like, hey, if I can't draw a straight line or a perfect circle, what can I draw? And I lean into that. Or I figure out how to use like squiggly lines to my advantage. But anyway, Kitty Delves, what's going on? How you doing, Kitty? Jehovah's still hasn't shared what about art school, but hello, welcome. And we're live, so if you're on X, where we're streaming live, this is a message to the entire planet, maybe the entire universe if others are watching. It makes me wonder, like, would it be sad or would it be incredibly interesting if we somehow figured out whether we were the only beings in the entire universe? Would that be sad? Who here would be sad, and who here would be totally like, hey, we're basically the only things out here? Now, I definitely believe that we are not. By the way, these my live streams can go in totally wacky directions. Pretty much anything's open for conversation here. So totally open. Ordinary Gaming says you've been lobotomized. What? Why would you be lobotomized? Why would you say that, Ordinary Gaming? Why would you believe that you'd have been lobotomized? For what? What would you have been lobotomized for? I guess, you got a point, Ordinary Gaming. If I'm understanding what you're saying, back in the day, yeah, I guess back in the day, a lot of us would have been lobotomized, like, what kind of society we had to fit into back then was pretty crazy, don't you think? Like, it is obviously very different from the society that we live in today. And, fortunately, many artists, philosophers, etc., have taken opportunities to risk their own lives, their own careers, for the sake of the future by being different. So here we go. I'm going to go paint in this hand here. Yeah. So, you said you've been lobotomized for being stupid. Well, here's the thing: is the reason why I asked the question is because like, who's to decide? Like, what? I don't think people actually got lobotomized for being stupid. I think people got lobotomized for being way too smart. And maybe that's what you are. Maybe you're not stupid. Maybe you're too smart for society. You know, or maybe you think of like wild and crazy things. I don't know. So here we go. This needs to come down right about to here. And I'm estimating here the size of different things. So this will come down past the elbow quite a bit. We're going to go down past the elbow, come down a little bit there, bring this down, bring that down, and here. So bring this arm in. It's going to be a big forearm. I think the forearm should probably be about as wide as this thing. So and here we go. So this will probably come down right about to this halfway point here. So sketching this in and gradually focusing on our sketch. Jesus Alberto, welcome. Jesus Alberto, what's going on? How's your day going? Hope you've had a opportunity to have a creative day. Yes, no, maybe, possibly. So right now, this is this is a somewhat important phase. I don't put as much importance on the initial sketch as some other artists might, because with painting, or at least for this type of painting, right? Like, you know, if I'm painting something more that needs more organization, I might. But for the most part, what I'm doing right now, I have some more freedom to be able to just more freedom to play around a bit. Let's just call it playing around a bit. And that's what we're going for. So, Amazing Green, what's up, Key? Welcome back. Good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a couple days, and you have come back to this exciting live stream. I'm glad that you got something out of it last time, enough to come visit again. So let's see, we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go draw this out, draw that out, draw this out. We're gonna paint across on a hand. And then, let's see, so there needs to be a piece right here. So just drawing out the sketch here. Pretty simple. It's pretty simple enough. And let's see, so you can already see parts of this hand are a little bit but that's alright. We're gonna keep going, and we will get this. So push this, mold this, transform that. And this is, by the way, my live streams, I don't do them as much like a Bob Ross could tell you every step that he was doing, and like give you this beautiful quote, this beautiful wisdom that he could share with you. But you know, unfortunately, my live streams are not like that. I say a lot, and I say a lot, especially for live streams. So I'm not as eloquent as Bob Ross. Now, the only reason why I even bring up Bob Ross is because so many people have said, "Oh, this guy," the trolls have said, "Oh, this guy thinks he's yellow Bob Ross." So, when compared, you know, there's a lot of live streamers that I think that do artwork that probably don't get compared to Bob Ross. I don't know. So Key says, that painting was truly wonderful. Thanks so much for such a VIP treatment. Romania, 2 a.m. Hey, yeah, so Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 4:03 p.m.
The time is 4:03 p.m. here. So what I'm finding that needs to happen is this piece right here. We're going to come a little lower, and we're going to bring this wrist down a little bit, and we're going to create some more distance in this hand between the two sections here. This needs to be a little bit more separated. So here we go. We're going to come down, bring this around on the wrist here. Come down, and then we're going to go up and across. And here we go. And let's go like this. So up, down, and then around. And then here we go. So we're going to go across, cut through. And by the way, I am using references for this. I'm not making this totally up on my own. So if you're following along, you know, just keep that in mind. And here we go. So adding a couple angles and then bringing this down. And here's what's important, capturing some of these pieces right here. And then adding one more line right there. And there we have it. So we have our basic sketch out right now. And add a muscle there. So Key, definitely bring you. Great to see you back. I'm glad I could add to your life's enjoyment in Romania. So I find it so interesting how I get so many viewers from like around the world. You know, I think it's funny because as an American, I could become like so nationally centered. I don't know if it's nationalist. No, I don't think that's the right term. Like nationally centered, like so self-centered as far as what happens in America. You know, American self-centered. I don't know what the word would be. But I get so focused on, you know, American viewers that you forget how many great people around the world that could possibly see your thing. And you know what? Like, it does make sense as an artist, because, you know, on my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, someone needs to be in Los Angeles to buy my artwork. Or they have to be in America, or else, like, I'm gonna have to deal with, like, some crazy shipping prices. Or they will. But as far as content streaming goes, which is part of what I do, I think it's amazing that you know, there's so many great viewers from all around the planet. And because of the internet, you know, the internet is supposed to be this massive, fascinating, huge, like, connective place. You know, obviously it's filled with some bad things, but it's filled with this amazing connective place. And it's like very small-minded to think, oh, well, like, you know, maybe only Americans want to watch me. So anyway, I'm glad to have that insight from a lot of you who have been checking this out. So, ton can see and very few can draw, paint. USA, Europe, super tiny compared to USA. Yeah, I mean, but you know, the population of America is what, like 400 million, which is a lot. But there's so many art lovers, art appreciate. I mean, there's 8 billion people on the entire planet. America makes up less than 0.5%. It's like 0.435%. Right? 8 billion. Oh, no, wait, no. 8 billion, 10% would be 800 million. So, like 5%. America only makes about 5%, even though, you know, they make up a huge portion of the economy. But anyways, let's figure out a color. All this paint smell can often get to me sometimes. So it says scroll for old comments. Scroll for old comments. Let me scroll. All right. Well, I'm not broadcast details on Twitter, X. Yeah, okay, so, you know, I'm liking Twitter / ask for share, ask for follow. Interesting. It's amazing indeed how Propel around the world can be connected via YouTube stream. Alright, so right now I'm thinking of a color. I gotta turn a color out of this. Let's see, so I've got green here. Let's make these mostly cool colors. So I'm gonna knock this color out and it's gonna be a, I want to see if my proportions are right. So that ends up, yeah, it's about right. I think this is a little longer than this wrist, but that's okay. So we're gonna do, we can pop this out just a little bit more. Let's see, let's do that real quick before we move on. Where is the brush that I just had? Which brush was I just using? I don't even remember. This one's got green on it. Alright, there's our brush. Brush maintenance. So I've been doing this project with oil pastel. I've been doing this project with oil pastels, and the oil pastels, it's interesting because with oil pastels you can just like sit and keep working the oil pastels. You grab one color and then you go, and you grab another color and then you go, and then you grab another color and you go. But with painting, you know, standing up, you know, I love this idea that, you know, I can constantly be moving around. I'm constantly moving around, constantly moving around, constantly cleaning brushes. It's like way more interactive than just plain old drawing or something. So that's one thing I love. I love being up and about. How Propel around the world how Propel can be connected via YouTube stream. Yeah, definitely. But you know, you make me think about this other piece, Key. is you know, I think there's this American perspective of the internet that can be somewhat offensive. You know, like thinking about the self-centeredness of American stream or like streaming. You know, I have heard comments like on different YouTube streamers like, oh, you know, you want to focus on getting your streamers from America or whatever. And, you know, I think that can be, or you could want to get a focus on getting your viewers from America or whatever. And, you know, I think that's somewhat offensive. Like, I get it that Americans will buy products and all that, but at the same time, if you're focused on selling products, that's one thing. You know, you can't really sell McDonald's, local McDonald's in Romania. But, you know, if you're a live streamer and you know what, you want to do long-term live streaming, you want to create content for people, it doesn't matter where people are from. But this is a little monologue that I'm thinking about right now. I monologue sometimes when I thoughts that are in my head. Sometimes I say dumb stuff, sometimes I say smart stuff. But we're going to start with warm colors on this, and we're going to go with the dark blue. So let's bring in a dark blue, and and at some level also, I think it's helpful to just let, you know, YouTube do its thing. You know, like yeah, but I also think it's like interesting to let YouTube do its thing. Like where does YouTube want to send me? I find that an interesting question. Where do they want me to get viewers from? Who do they feel would be interested in what I'm doing? And somehow I am making friends in Romania. So that's cool. And with that, yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So here we go. We're gonna go bring this down. Got the elbow. Right now I'm adding in the shadow. So this is the darkest part, not just the shadow, but where light has been eliminated from our piece, where light no longer shines. And the more I got into artwork, the more I really got interested in understanding how light interacts. Light starts to interact with the human body. And it's really quite fascinating, because if you look at your arm right now, depending on the lighting that you're in, there will be some part of your hand that will be pretty much totally dark. There will be some part of your hand that is really, really dark. It's not even the same color as skin anymore. Hello, fellow artists of the Milky Way. Yes, Valerie. Fellow artists of the Milky Way galaxy. Yes. I think that's funny you just said that, because I was just talking about, like 10 minutes ago, talking about this idea that what if we humans are the only people or living, like, conscious thinking beings in the entire universe? Wouldn't that be pretty crazy? Like, would that be sad, or would that be scary, or would that be pretty darn exciting? I don't know. That would make us quite influential in the entire universe, right? And I like working in film and TV, and living in Hollywood sometimes, most of the time, because I see some interesting things. Like when I first started seeing Netflix is a joke ads, I thought that it was hilarious. Like, Netflix is a joke. What a clever and witty thing for comedy. And then I saw this ad recently, and it was like one of the greatest shows in the universe, probably. And it got me thinking. As far as we know, right? We're gonna get a little bit woo-woo here, a little bit sci-fi here. But as far as we know, we're the only, as far as we know, we're the only thing, like, conscious living beings in the universe, right? As far as we know. And I think that makes it even more true that, every single one of us, every single one of you is really quite special as far as the universe goes, because there's only one of you in the entire universe, based on just that concept alone. As far as your personal consciousness is concerned, there's only one of you. There might be somebody that kind of looks like you. There might be someone, that has similar experiences that you kind of get along with, but there really is only one you. And as far as we know, if that show that had that ad can be one of the funniest shows in the universe, I think that it's possible for you to be one of the most unique people in the universe, or any of us. But that's getting a little out there. We're all very unique, and just sharing some of the thoughts that I get in my head sometimes. If you're a musician, if you're an artist, like, this is the first and only time that this thing that I'm doing right now has ever existed in the entire universe. Now, I'm not saying that this is some sort of masterpiece or something that'll stand the test of time, but I will say that I have a point there. Anyway, these are some of the thoughts of Emmett Ferguson, the artist, which may or may not interest everybody, but for some people, it might be very fun to talk about. I know that's the other thing about the internet, is I can meet other weirdos such as myself, which, I guess in life, that's never as easy. Not always as easy, can be hard to meet people as weird as yourself. So here we go. We're gonna bring this knuckle down here. We're gonna paint in. So we're getting into shadows right now. A wonderful artist. Well, no other planets are non-toxic. Yes, only Earth doesn't kill beings. Have you ever seen someone who is look-alike of your friends, family members, people you know? So, Key, I'm not exactly sure. So you're saying, well, oh yeah, no other planets are non-toxic for life so far. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so Earth is a very unique planet. As far as our known planetary existences, we are very unique. We are in a very unique situation, and it's quite amazing. Very unique situation. And it definitely creates for a unique experience when you can actually like take that and think about it, like let it sink in. And I guess for some people that might be kind of scary, but maybe for others somewhat exciting, you know, somewhat empowering to an extent, right? Empowering, but also scary at the same time. So here we go. We're gonna go bring this up here. Plan on doing another stream. So why 8-bit? What's up? Gamer 8-bit. Is that who I think it is? Gamer 8-bit. Oh. No, I definitely have more than one view. I don't know why it's only showing up with one, but I've been having conversations with like 20 different people so far. Yeah, so it does, you know, YouTube does its own weird thing sometimes. Sometimes it takes a minute to update. YouTube can't handle the amount of viewers that I'm suddenly getting. They're not ready for this massive interest that this channel's about to have. Yeah, YouTube takes a long time to update. You have to have like you have to have a lot of views in order to get like real live, super live updates. But my art is good, but okay, lay on the butt. Lay on the butt. Lay it on me. What's but what? So here we go. Still adding in some of the shadow details. So Key, what I like to say is the viewers, y'all can be mean to me. Y'all can troll me, but the other day someone was trolling me, and then they trolled another viewer, and I gave that viewer mod rights. I let that random viewer be a mod so that they could kick the troll. So I didn't kick the troll because of me. I let the other viewer kick them on their behalf. See, I say troll me if you like. I think a good troll is good for views, good for conversation, but don't troll the other people in here. To an extent, right? Like, you know, sometimes it get annoying. It get annoying at some point, but a good troll, a good positive troll can can be helpful. So anyway, let's go into here. We're gonna go and draw in the knuckle here. So a common thing about art, troll makes things interesting. Yeah. So gamer 8-bit wanted to say something, but you stopped. Keep going, go for it. Say what you must say. Jack Dorsey, the founder of X, the person who created Twitter, said something interesting this afternoon, or they made an interesting post. They said, it's not really free speech nowadays that we have to be concerned about, on the internet at least. Like, America's probably one of the few countries that has the First Amendment, the free speech written into their laws. I mean, I'm sure other countries have it, but, with the world being as big as it is, he said that free speech isn't the thing we should be afraid of losing. It's free will. And how that just blew my mind. Free will. The idea that, are we all really acting on our own free will? That was a question I wanted to make for discussion for my next live stream. Something to talk about. But do we really have our own free will? And, I don't... His argument was that we really don't, because what's happening is that algorithms for social media are what's influencing us, and that can't always be trusted. You know what I mean? And that's just one of the few things. But I had this other viewer. He goes by the name King, so we'll just call him King for now. He goes by the name King, and he was saying how, as a kid, kids would like make fun of him, and he would just keep going and doing what he was doing. Like, he would walk backwards, and kids would tell him he can't walk backwards, and he would keep walking backwards. And, in my mind, I'm like, I think that's interesting that idea came up yesterday, because today is the day that I saw this Jack Dorsey post about free will. And, you know what? There was a kid just acting, this guy, we'll call him King, acting on his own free will. It was a very interesting thing that he did. Acting on his own free will, not doing something just because someone says it's the thing you must do. Or whatever. But here we go, working on the hand spaces here. So let's go. We're gonna go up right here. Pop this in right here. And right now we're getting a bit of a mid-tone, which is great. I couldn't have planned this better myself. Zaku2, welcome back. What's going on? Made a zombie hand. You don't understand English, only Mr. Beast English is different. Mr. Beast English is different? How? How is his English different? We have free speech. I feel like we can't say anything without being accused of being against women, men, etc., etc. Even bullies now aren't scolded, but they have the excuse of breaking a new wall when little and no one helped them, so they are just hurt too, etc. About to go to sleep, but I popped in. Thank you for popping in before you sleep. The nail. So, scolded, but they had the excuse of breaking a nail when... okay. Alright. I mean, I don't know how it is in Romania. But... I don't know how it is in Romania. I'm sure, Romanian culture and laws are much more... much less lax. I imagine that, people in Romania are probably... Men in Romania are allowed to embrace a certain level of masculinity, and also the the police are probably, I mean, you know, there's corrupt police everywhere, but, you know, I would say that if there are complaints from a community, that, you know, the police are probably will have less tolerance of it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anything about Romania. I'm just making stuff up. Just based on what my thoughts are of Eastern Europe in general. So, you know, I don't know how that works. But I also imagine that Romania doesn't have the First Amendment. They don't have the same First Amendment as Americans do. So, you know, what is there to, what would separate, or what would the difference as far as free speeches be? So in Romania, the government is the mob. You don't pay protection to gang. You pay to the mayor? Is that true? Like, does the mayor just like, do you just, I mean, obviously you have to pay taxes. So like, I guess you pay the mayor every week? Is that, how does that work? Explain, I'm kind of curious. Like, I'm sure there's a tax system, and that's kind of the joke, is that the people that collect taxes, based on what you're saying, are the Romanian mob. Is that what you're going for? But then again, you know, in that sense, in what you're saying, you know, I think that speaks true to the idea that you have to be tougher to live in Romania. You know, if you're gonna succeed in politics, and I'm not saying this is like in a better way or worse way, but you know, if you want to succeed as a politician in Romania, you gotta be willing to fight for that position. Whereas I think in America, you just have to tell people you're gonna fight for something, and most people will believe you, except for your opponents. But here we go. So we're gonna go and paint into here, get our shadow into this knuckle here. And there we go. So, what's up, Isaac Weldon? Love the art from the UK. Thank you. If I have any kind of business, you have to pitch in to pay the mayor. You have to pay the mayor. I wonder how that works. Okay, so Key says there are a lot of snowflakes in Romania. If you have any, either by giving him your product or free services. That's how you establish it with mayor. Okay, that's interesting. So I find it interesting that you use the word snowflakes in Romania, because I guess this is a word that is pervaded, that has transitioned not just in America, but also in other countries as well. And here's the thing, I mean, maybe the snowflakes, for lack of a better term, I'm not calling anybody a snowflake, I'm just using, you know, this word you're saying. What if the snowflakes could be potentially for the better, right? Like, I think people who you know, get offended really can pull society's lack of I think there's a balance, you know, people who get offended versus people who say whatever the heck they want. And, you know, I think there's a balance, right? People who can just say whatever the heck they want maybe sometimes need to be kept in check so that they don't say, so that they don't, you know, go too far with what they say. And then people that get totally offended by everything, you know, I guess they probably will just get check themselves, you know, they'll check themselves and just never truly get to live a life that's free of constantly being upset. So I guess there's a balance there. Do I always paint arms? Marianne, no, I do not always paint arms. I have a series of feet, a series of faces, and this is just a series that I'm doing. What's up, Emma? So this is just a series that I'm doing, and right now it just happens to be the arms section. So let me go here. I'm going to switch up my brush. I'm going to go for a very light blue. I'm going to go for a nice blue here. Ooh, I got to clean off this brush. Somehow, even though I think about it all the time, I happen to always forget. To clean at least one brush, which means the next time I use that brush, I have to wipe off the paint, or the paint hasn't come off yet. That could be kind of annoying. But hey, those of you on YouTube, I need your opinions, YouTube and X. I need your opinions. Where do you think this live stream would do better? On X? Because I'm thinking about switching from TikTok to X for live streaming. And, you know, I don't know which one would perform better. Which one would be better for viewers? Where would you think you would find me and actually watch? If you were on TikTok, or if you were on if you're on X. Important question. So I need to create a new section. Oh, that's not it. I need to create a new section for blue. A new section for a white blue is what we need. A light white blue here. Where's our white? Give me a white. So, of course I'll be on YouTube. Yes, I will definitely be on YouTube. But I feel like I need to be on other platforms too, because, you know, there's always that concern of like YouTube. As soon as like YouTube finally loses interest in you, then, you know, that's it. If I had built in other platforms, I could at least, you know, continue to expand on other platforms. And maybe we're thinking too far ahead, like, you know, I'm not even close to a point where I'm big enough to even worry about people losing interest, because, you know what, if I only have like a few viewers a day, I think it's easy to constantly find a few viewers a day, but to really grow past like 1,000, 100, 1,000 viewers a day, like millions, I don't think any live streamer will ever reach millions of live viewers a day. But that said, I don't think the amount of viewers I have right now is enough for YouTube to be interested in like doing any sort of throttling back. But I think it's still a concern, you know, business-wise. What happens if I become too dependent on YouTube? What's the answer there? So you're not on TikTok or X, so you can't help with that regarding, but you may see pros and cons. Your neighbors on, you said your neighbors on TikTok, or you're on TikTok? I mean, I know lots of people on TikTok. Oh, you are, okay. Well, we will have to connect on TikTok. TikTok, I like TikTok so far. It's been good to me. But it feels like there's always like a talk of shutting down lately. Like, you know, constantly people talk about YouTube's gonna be shut down. I mean, TikTok's gonna be shut down. So you gotta like, you know, either be on a different platform. Like, what platform should I be spending time on? But I think as long as, you know, America keeps getting paid a good amount in taxes from TikTok, that there's going to be no problem. But we shall see. You never know. Could be conflict. We'll see. So, anyway, I guess the flux of people is higher at the moment on TikTok. Yeah, I guess so. But here's the other thing is I think there's way more streamers on TikTok than there are live streamers on X. So I think, you know, for X, but the only problem is X doesn't really have a way for people to monetize or like, you know, to get gifts. They don't have that on X. X doesn't really have a lot of ways that you can that you can actually like make money compared to TikTok. But, you know, I'm talking through some of my decision making here, getting my YouTuber audience's thoughts on that. You know, what do y'all think? What does everybody think? Made me think about how interesting YouTube is, or Google is, because Google is basically knows what everybody's thinking at pretty much any given time, right? What's going on, Kat? You're shacked up.
Am I? Yeah.
You're shacked up, girl. Huh?
Shacked up. Because it's old, so used his language.
That's Kathleen Roy, everybody, that just passed.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
What's going on? Say hello. Anybody have any questions for Kathleen? She's my girlfriend. If you got questions for Kathleen, I had her do like a live stream once. You can ask her questions. So, hey, Goat Soup, what's going on? Anybody got any questions for Kathleen? Any question on the planet? Kat, I got a question for you. What would you do if you found out that humans were the only life in the universe? I mean, you know, Earth was the only life in the universe.
What would I do?
If they found out that was for a fact, if, you know, scientists made an announcement and said there's a 99.99% chance that we're the smartest beings in the entire universe.
I do a happy dance.
A happy dance? Okay. All right, well.
Guess.
Oh, she says, how do you keep your hair so long? Key says, hello, Kath.
Oh, hi.
How do you keep your hair so long?
How do I keep it? Mine? I guess he's talking about mine. I just brush it, wash it, put conditioner in it, and some hair oil. And I have a spray stuff for detangling, and another one for extra conditioning, like dirt between shampoos. That's what I do.
So there you go. So secrets, what were those three things? Conditioner,
Well,
oil.
wash it with a proper shampoo, condition it, use detangling spray, brush it good, don't yank out tangles, you know, take them out gently. and I put hair oil on too. So it's dry.
Okay, what kind of hair oil?
It's from the hair shop. I don't know.
Hair shop hair oil?
Yeah.
All right.
Shampoo and conditioner
Baked
from
beans.
the hair shop.
Goat Superficial asks, do you eat baked beans?
Not usually.
Not usually.
Very often.
There you go. There's your
Are
answer.
they good for you?
Yeah, she says, why? Why are you asking that question, Goat? Are they good for, lots of work, it pays off, looks amazing. All right, so
Thank you.
Key
Thank
likes
you.
your hair.
Thank you very much.
She likes your hair. There you go. Key is from Romania.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Budapest?
Budapest.
Are you from Budapest?
Are you from Budapest, Key? What part of Romania, I guess, is the question. What would make you what would make you instantly guess Budapest?
It's the capital.
Oh, okay. So Goat Soup says it's just a funny question. Goat Soup just wanted to ask a funny question.
Oh, okay.
That was very funny.
Okay. Bye. I'm gonna go.
All right, well.
Thanks, everybody.
She has done enough entertaining for one afternoon.
It would stop.
So, Budapest, Budapest is in Hungary, another country.
Oh, I feel stupid. I believe that. I could have sworn it was in Romania. Okay, I'm sorry. Who said that? Which person?
Key.
Key. Sorry about that. Shows my American ignorance.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could have swear that Budapest is in a different country.
Sorry.
But see, now you're thinking dumb Americans. They don't even know where Budapest is.
Yeah, well, we're ignorant of any place. We don't even know places in America. Ask an American where Duluth is. They couldn't tell.
Louisiana?
I don't know where it is. I think it's in Iowa.
Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
I think it's Iowa.
All right. Well, Bucharest is the capital of Romania. Maybe that's what you thought. Bucharest? Hey, Kat.
Budapest. No, I was thinking Budapest.
Can you clip my hair?
Huh?
Can you clip my hair? Might be in there.
I was thinking Budapest.
Well, you said, but you didn't say Bucharest. Budapest and Bucharest, Romania. It sounds similar, so maybe you were close. I can just do that real quick. Not too tight. Alright, that's my little troll look. It helps me to keep hair out of my face, which can be really annoying when I'm painting. So you're trying to lose weight over the summer? I look fit, so what would I say? Goat, are you asking me or are you asking Kathy? Are you asking Kathleen? Oh, you're asking me. Yeah, I look like a little kid. Right. Everything I do for art. For the sake of art. I'm only doing this because it helps me keep the hair out of my face when I paint. So I'll go into some fitness thoughts in a moment, but first I want to get the blue. I want to finish covering this in blue first before I do, so that I can explain, because that's going to require a bit of an explanation. It's not just like well, this is this and this. I guess I can kind of start talking about it. So fitness. I mean, first of all, I think for me personally, and I only share this because, not to demotivate you, but to, give you some context. I started exercising 20 years ago. 14 years ago, 20 years ago when I was 14, I picked up my first dumbbell, and I would just do push-ups in a garage. Push-ups and like 5 or 10 pound dumbbells. And pretty much since then, you know, I got addicted to going to the gym from the age of 14 years old until pretty much, I played some sports in high school, pretty much until I was like, till today. Now, I'm not as obsessed with fitness as I am when I was like 15, 16, 18, 20 years old, but I think the thing to take away from that, as far as fitness goes, is you really gotta build the habit. And if you don't have the habit now, like for me, I've reached a point where not going to the gym, my body like reacts negatively. You know, like I get more anxious. I feel like I'm failing at life. Like my body literally gets bad feelings when I'm not going to the gym, you know? And I think it's this idea of when you reach that point, that your body needs a gym where it can just become natural. Now, again, not everyone has the opportunity to turn back time and, you know, go to when they were 14 years old and somehow build an addiction for the gym. So, you know, I think that is really what separates people who stay consistently fit throughout most of their lives from those who struggle to get in there. And if you're not at that point, I look so young. I could have swore I was 24. Yeah, I guess I look 24 sometimes. With this haircut, I look 24, right? So the question for you is, really, how far are you from your goal, right? Like, you don't have to go into details about what your physical shape is, but like, you know, give an idea of like, how much weight are you looking to lose? Are you looking to lose like 100 pounds? Or are you looking to lose like, you know, like 20 pounds? Oh, you're very far. Okay. Okay, well, so here's another question. Have you ever, in your entire life, had a fitness routine? And I don't know how old you are, because obviously the younger you are, the easier it is. But I guess the older you are, the more motivation you can really build into yourself. Because, you know, if you're older, you kind of realize that, you know, you've only got a certain amount of time left, and you really got to put in the effort. Whereas if you're younger, you can constantly like put it off. You can constantly be like, oh, you know, I'll get fit next year, or I'll do it next year. And then, you know, you eventually reach a point where that next year becomes that old age, and you have to work that much harder. But here's the positive thing that I've seen from people who don't get into like fitness until later in life, is that when they get into fitness later in life, they get really, really fit. Like I know this one guy who is like an alcoholic, working like 60, 70 hours a week, and like 80 pounds overweight, and now he's like an ultra marathon runner. You know, and he didn't even get into fitness until he was 40. So what are my thoughts on intermittent fasting? Helped you lose like 15 kgs, 6-hour eating windows. So my thoughts on it, this is not medical advice. This is not, you know, I just barely researched intermittent fasting. My thoughts are, it's good. I naturally, like, that's just my eating schedule. I only eat like once or twice a day, which probably isn't good for some people. And also, my eating habits are that I probably eat way too much in those 2 meals. So that said, you know, I want to add the caveat that I think I naturally intermittent fast. You know, it's easy for me to go like, you know, 6, 12, 18 hours without eating. But that's not really how you do intermittent fasting, by eating huge, heavy meals. But I think it's a good thing, you know, people managing their food intake. Some people need it. But again, always talk to your doctor, right? Always talk to a professional. Always, always, always talk to a doctor or professional. Don't, you know, listen to the random person on YouTube. Always talk to a professional before you try anything. But yeah, I'm totally for fasting once you have a baseline of your own personal health. But goat. So goat, you said you're very far from your goal. You have had a fitness routine before. So goat, what stopped you? You said you have had a fitness routine before. What stopped you from your fitness routine? What would you say kept you from continuing on with your fitness routine? All right, so we've got our basic hands. I've made these shadows really, really dark. And what needs to happen is I need to soften some of these shadows here. And this needs to be way softer, but we can we can update that in a bit. These edges are way too hard, so let's go ahead and just soften them a bit, spread them around. And the only gym you live next to closed. So Goat, there's this YouTuber that I watch. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he goes by the name of King Batch. And he's been doing this thing where he posts videos of him just randomly doing push-ups, and I really feel like that has definitely inspired me. Even as someone who's, you know, kept a pretty consistent fitness routine throughout their life, myself, I feel even I can be inspired by someone who just films themselves knocking out push-ups. So, you know, even though your gym closed, right? I think the important thing is to figure out what you can do that can be a substitute for the gym. Like, you know, there's like two schools of thought here, right? There's the super hardcore fitness person that's, you know, in the gym 6 days a week and super like wolf lion mentality, like, well, you know, if you don't have a gym, go do push-ups right now, go out and run, toughen up and don't be so soft, you know, like there's that mentality. And then, you know, there's people who just want to get fit, you know, they don't need a drill instructor to like, you know, motivate them. They just need, like, you know, hey, some advice and just to kind of get started. So, you know, depending on what type of school of thought you're in, you know, first I would say if you need somebody to really help keep you motivated to, like, you know, add a little hardness into your life, I would say look up David Goggins. So if you look up David Goggins on Instagram, DavidGoggins, I think anybody who watches him is automatically, like, without even like lifting a finger, if you watch David Goggins, you're gonna become more fit instantly. Not just because of not because of the calories burned, but physically, like mentally, you're gonna be just that much more fit. Because fitness is a mental game as well, right? Like I said, those habits are mental things. So if you want the simplest thing that I would say for anybody to go get fit that isn't and hasn't heard of David Goggins is literally just go on YouTube, go on Instagram and watch a couple David Goggins videos. And now it's a very certain personality, right? Like you don't always need somebody with this personality to motivate you, but if you do, some people do, right? Some people don't want it, but they do. And then, if you really need someone who's like going to be more gentle on you, to be nicer and help guide you through, then you know what? You might need to spend a lot of money on a coach. Because some people need motivation. They can't be motivated by, just watching a couple videos. They need to give themselves reasons. They need to add accountability to their life. They need to be like, oh, I'm paying $150 an hour for this coach. I should exercise. They need to not only is the money a motivating factor, but so is the accountability of someone every week. So there's everything in between there too, right? You can have both David Goggins and a coach. I've had coaches, I've had fitness trainers, I've had mentors, all sorts of things. So, teachers, whatever. I totally approve of those things. But I cough a lot there's a lot of paint smells, and I'm very sensitive to smells. It's the one thing that bothers me about oil painting sometimes. But hey, goat soup, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. And I hope you'll do 10 with me. Even if you can't do a push-up, do a couple body squats, but I'm gonna knock out 10 push-ups just for you. And this is also inspired by King Batch. All right. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so knocked out 10 push-ups. I hope you do the same. Yeah, go try 10 push-ups. It'll make you feel better. So anyway, quite a lot of things I have to do on this arm. But let's go ahead and paint in the surrounding first. So what we're going to do for the surrounding here is I'm going to go... I'm going to go with a dark red. Blue. We're gonna go blue with a vermilion red around it. Bravo, yeah, all right. So that's the really last thing, goat. Knowing your motivations, knowing why you want to be, knowing why you want to be fit. Why do you want to lose weight? Actually, I don't even think I addressed that with you, but, I think that's a really important thing to ask yourself is, what is it that you really want? Is it better health? Is it, is it to attract somebody? That's a good reason. That's a perfectly fine reason. Is it to attract somebody? Is it, do you, by the way, also know that a fit body isn't going to fix all your problems, right? Having a fit body will at least distract you, because if you're spending an hour or two, multiple hours in the gym each week, those are hours that you're not going to be focused on all the other problems in your life. So it will definitely at least distract you, and you're going to be getting fit. But there's great research. There's this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics. And it's written by formerly a doctor named Dr. Maxwell Maltz. I highly recommend reading it. And the book, and there's a lot that goes on in this book. But, all right, Key, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here and joining in on a conversation. Everything. Have a great evening. And we're going to keep going with this. So, Goat. So, in the book, Psycho-Cybernetics, it's written by Maxwell Maltz, who was a doctor. He was actually a plastic surgeon. And the reason why he wrote this book was he started doing this like research. He started to doing research into his clients. And there was something interesting he found with his clients. He found that some clients would go through plastic surgery, and after they were done, they would look in a mirror and they would be totally confident. They'd be like, wow, doctor, you did such an amazing job. Like, you made me look so handsome, so beautiful, thank you. And there were other clients that he had, other people that he did, did interviews with, and he would ask them, and they would tell him, like, you know, doctor, you did this job, but I just don't feel like, you know, I don't feel confident. So what he researched and what he found out was that people, so the idea was he did surgery on two different types of people. One group of person would like feel amazing after surgery. They would feel confident. They would feel bold. They would feel like, you know, they're a totally new person, confident and beautiful, handsome, whatever. And then they found this other group who had the same level of surgery and looked great, and they were still not confident. They didn't feel good about themselves. They didn't feel good about, you know, how they looked. And what he found, he did the research, he found that the people that were confident after surgery versus the people who still had low self-esteem after surgery, the difference was that the people who were confident before surgery kept that high level of self-esteem afterwards. The people who had a low view of themselves, low self-esteem, kept that same low self-esteem afterwards. And that's basically the beginnings of his research into this idea of personal confidence. And the reason why I even brought that up is this idea of knowing why you want to get fit. Because, you know, it does end up becoming a lifelong thing if you want to be serious about it. And also, you know, it won't answer all your problems. I don't know where you are personally with how you feel about yourself. I hope it's good. But, you know, if you don't have, and it could be helpful, right? You would think that exercising and all that long-term growth would be helpful. But at the same time, just know that if it's something else you're looking for other than just having a fitter, healthier body, there might be other things you're going to want to do. But of course, you know, just get that fitter body. Like there's no downside to that. But I think that book and that research is really interesting solely because of the fact that it's an interesting idea, right? Like, why do some people have the confidence with a new body while some people don't? And, you know, he basically found the answer, or like a part of the answer. Maybe it's not the whole answer. But it does help to know, yeah, you want to be new when you enter the real world. Okay, what do you mean by new? Are you looking to reinvent yourself? I was so good. Hey, PJS, what's going on? Thank you. I was so good. What do you mean? When was I good? You want to be different. Okay, cool. So, all right, be ready for anything. Well, that's pretty interesting. By the way, you don't have to, I'm about to ask you a question that you don't necessarily have to type and share with everybody, the entire planet, right? Because everybody can possibly see this. But the question to you is, how do you describe different? Like, you know, in your own view, in your mind's eye, in your imagination that could potentially become a reality, how do you see yourself as different? What exactly are you doing? What are you eating? What does your body look like? Who are you interacting with? You know, I'm asking these specific questions just to help you kind of like, you want to be grown and stronger. All right, cool. So, you know, bouncing off that, right? Like, what is grown and stronger? What does that that look like? How much stronger? What do you want to be lifting? And the reason why I'm asking these questions is the more you know and can picture yourself doing these things, the easier it's going to be. Here's a funny thing. You made me think about this just now. So, like, when I was first starting to exercise, I was about 14 years old, as I mentioned earlier. And I would literally just go in the mirror and do this, like, ab flexing thing. And here's the funny thing, right? Some people say you have to, like, imagine yourself with abs. And I think part of me, although part of me actually truly believed I had abs, I think part of me also kind of imagined the abs. So, where I'm kind of going with this is the idea of using your imagination, right? Does it help? Was I, like, imagining my own abs? Like, looking back, I do remember having to, like, pull down my stomach, you know, to pull down the skin and make it look like I had abs. And, you know, maybe that's something you have to do, right? Like, you have to trick your own mind into believing you can do these things. And I don't know how old you are. You don't have to tell me. Personally, I'd rather you keep your personal information personal and private. But, you know, depending on what age you are, what your goal is, what can you do to help imagine? What can you do to imagine yourself, what you'd be doing with that extra strength, with that extra power, with that extra size, weight, growth, whatever? And what would you be doing, right? Like, are you going to be lifting weights? I don't know if you're a guy or girl, or if you like guys or girls, but, you know, like, are you picturing yourself as like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like lifting girls up in each arm of his biceps, or, you know, whatever? Like, build that imagination, because you need it to create your own your own path. You want to be throwing cars. Okay, well, I'm not saying there are no limits, right? Even the strongest man in the world right now can't throw cars. But I'm not saying there are no limitations, right? I'm not, that's not something I believe. I do believe that there are limitations. But but here's the thing, is there may be limitations, but whatever is possible for anyone else is possible for you. If someone has demonstrated that it is possible for someone such as yourself, whatever your story may be, then it is possible for you too. And if someone has done what you think is the impossible, then that's totally possible. So rather than trying to come up with stuff that's totally I don't want to say unrealistic, but just unlikely, maybe not even possible, and maybe you'll throw cars in some other way. Maybe you'll create like a flying car. I don't know. Or maybe you will be able to throw cars one day. But again, the whole idea is that imagine what's possible, and if it's something that no one has ever done before, then you're not really doing this exercise that I'm sharing with you, right? This like imagining of your own, how you're going to be, how you're going to develop your fitness. So you get the idea, right? Like I don't believe that everything's possible. I don't know who came up with that idea, but I definitely am of the school that if it is possible for someone else, it's also possible for you, or someone else, similar to you, whether it be your personal lifestyle choices or like for most things, right? But if no one has ever done it before, if it's like impossible, then you know what? That's not, I don't think that's a goal to aim for. Because it's not really a goal at all. So there we go. I mean, I would definitely say find something that you can actually imagine yourself. And hey, here, maybe you become an actor. Maybe you become Superman in a movie, and or like a famous director who directs movies, and you're throwing cars. Maybe that's a possibility. If you imagine yourself doing that, that might just, if you can imagine yourself doing that, that just might very well be true. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah. So it all depends, my friend, on finding that that space between your imagination and your reality. And making it so. So that would be great. Yes, that would be great. All right, so here we go. Kind of brought this down a little too much, but that's okay. We're gonna go. Oh, one thing I keep forgetting to do is to put down like a painting underneath all this, because otherwise I have all these like little white spots, which kind of ruins the painting, or makes it harder to do later on, because right now I have to struggle to fill it all in without messing up the colors too much. So there we go. All right, well, we're almost done with the outline, and I think this blood red really, this purplish red really adds a lot to the overall structure of things. And here we go. I actually want to tighten this hand up, this arm up a little bit more before I get into, excuse me, before I get into, going crazy on it, before I let my imagination loose on this baby. So time to clean off this brush a bit. And so Goat, did you do those push-ups? You said you were gonna do it, but I didn't follow up and you didn't tell me that you did, so I'm holding you accountable. But yeah, that's the thing. There's like no easy answer to some things, other than you just gotta go do it, you know. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Just gotta get to it. Well, anyway, I hope you did those push-ups. If you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. If you didn't do the push-ups, I'll forgive you. But here we go. So let's see. Where do I want to put this piece right here? I'm going to lay in some blue. Get a deeper blue here around the edge. And let's go with this hand here. I'm going to go bring the knuckle up and around. And then we're going to bring in a highlight right into here. And we're going to go, let's see, there's a highlight there. There's another thing that comes right down here. We're going to push that up, give the highlight into this hand right around this part. We need to create a nice hard crease into this space right here. And let's see, we're going to take some of this blue again. And let's go like this. So I'm going to push this baby up, get around like so. And we're going to create a little bit of a shine, like right around here. And we're going to go across. And here we go. So we're going to continue through here, and let's go push some of these highlights with the arm. Expand on some of these highlights. Let's go. And oof. So I already see an issue. I feel like this this knuckle is a bit up too high. I mean, it's not so off that it would be that bad, but I feel like I could lower it a little bit. Lower this. I'm trying to lower this wrist knuckle here a bit. And I think that helped to soften up some of the edges. Let's go with a little bit of a darker shade of blue. And we're gonna come down. Yikes. Okay, let's see. That's a little too light. I'm just working towards softening some of this. Let's make sure that we get our knuckles to the edge of where we need them. But I don't need this like light color anymore. So I'm constantly looking at the change in values. And let me see. And let's go ahead and try to soften some of this a little bit. And there you go. So trying to decide what needs to go and happen here, but go like this. All right, let's clean that up. I'm going to go for this dark blue into some of our spaces here. So we need this blue to start to fill this knuckle. Let me see if I can do this from a distance here. And I do continuously like look back at the camera just to kind of see what y'all are seeing. Because one thing that's interesting about painting is like you get a totally different experience depending on where you're looking at it from. And this is some of the harder parts, getting into the medium shades that help to create the depth, the real depth of this work. see. This is a good like shadow shade. So let's go. Right into there. And this just slowly creates the shadows. I think this is a better angle for our shadows, so we're gonna go bring this up. We're gonna be blending in this in. There we go. Trying to reduce the heaviness of these shadows here. And it's with these like subtler differences that you can really start to create the better separation between the arms and the joints and the muscles and everything. Right around here, definitely add a bit more highlight. We're going to bring something a little darker into this area. Marianne, is it Marianne or Marianne? What's going on? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. So we're just really adding in some of the tighter details now. And how are you doing this afternoon? What's going on? What are some interesting things that you're working on or not working on? I think this finger has way too much highlight, so we're going to try to blend that out a bit. It's night there. All right. Well, happy evening. Good evening. You wrapping up? You looking for something to to bore you to sleep, or something to soothe your soul before the evening ends? Something to relax the spirit rather than heighten the senses. Looking for some inspiration. Okay, what are you looking for some inspiration to do? Out of curiosity. What are you looking for inspiration for? What purpose? What would the feeling of inspiration help you to do? All right, so now what I got to do is softening some of the muscle groups. If you're looking for inspiration in anything, what was the last good book that you read? Or good TV show that you, or what do you like to do on a regular basis? If this was just a random Sunday or Saturday afternoon and you could do anything in the world, what would you do? By the way, speaking, you said it's at night there. There's this great exercise I learned. There's a great exercise I learned, a drawing exercise that I've been just doing. It helps put me to sleep and it makes me feel creative. And basically, all you do is, in the middle of the night, either just before you go to sleep, as you're like waking up in the middle of the night, or just after you wake up while you're still kind of like, like tired or sleepy or like out of it, whatever. You don't turn on lights. You leave it dark, and then you use your non-dominant hand. For me, that's my left hand. My left hand is my non-dominant hand, and you just start drawing with it. So you just draw. You're drawing in the dark with your non-dominant hand while you're sleepy. That's supposed to help, like, unravel your brain. And I do have to admit that I definitely feel it's true. It has definitely worked for me in unraveling my brain. Or you like to go with your dogs? Well, hey, why don't you play a game with your dog? Or do a quick drawing of your dog. I'm just helping you brainstorm here, by the way. That's what what I'm here for, right? Just to help brainstorm a bit. Now we're going to tighten up this. That good. You need that. Cool. Well, I hope that I'm being helpful. Here's an interesting thing. I've wanted, like when I was a kid, I actually wanted one of the jobs that was like a dream job for me was to become like a late night TV show host. And while I never made it onto super late night TV, I'm glad that I'm able to, it's not late night here in America. But somewhere in the world, it's late night, and I had the opportunity to share. Like I'm not a night person, which is why I'm not an evening person. My day, I'm usually done with my day by like 9 p.m. So I don't think I could ever do like late night TV for like an American channel. But hey, on my own channel, it seems like a lot of people are looking for for some interesting stuff late night. And I'm glad that I can help provide that, Marianne. So I don't know. I don't know if you live in the U.S., but in the U.S. they have this TV show called QVC, and basically it's just a shopping channel. It's a late night shopping channel. And basically all they do is they sell stuff on TV like at all times in the morning, like into like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. They're like always on. And they sell stuff. It's a really interesting concept. Oh, wait. You need a ton of inspiration. Well, that's cool. I think we can all use a little inspiration now and then, for sure. So, I see something wrong with this knuckle here. This knuckle needs to basically come down right around here. This paintbrush is only carving away paint, so I need to stop using this. Well, I do have my, I don't know if it's available in your country, but you know, I do have my paintings for sale as prints. It's on Redbubble, so I don't know, maybe that'll be inspirational if you have it in your own home. I have them as t-shirts if you want to support the channel. But you know, they're on huzzahcreative.redbubble.com. Most of my artwork is available there, and maybe sometimes, you know, you just gotta find some inspiration by having something up in your own home. Or you just need to wrap up the night with nice painting. Okay, here we go. So we're actually almost done with some of these parts, but I want to get these shadows a little bit better. And let's see, this what's going on, Kat? What happened?
My laptop charger. It's in my back. Here we go. Go to class soon.
You got a class soon?
My acting class. I'm auditing or whatever, checking out a new. Something monstrous.
Okay. Are you leaving?
I just said that.
Okay, cool. All right. So a little bit more tightening up here. A little bit more tightening up. I think we're almost there, people. How exciting is this? I'm almost finished an arm. It's the simple pleasures. Having some difficulty with this knuckle, and here's why. So if I can bring this knuckle up, like so. How's that look? It looks okay. You need to see a pretty picture. Okay, well, let me share a couple pretty pictures. I think right now is a good time for a little break and step away. I'll do a little share. Are you open to seeing some shares? Here's a fun painting I did. So it's actually on cardboard. I did this on cardboard and an Amazon box to be exact. but I did this on cardboard because I had gone to go paint this statue. So this is the statue of David, but it's a replica. So somebody copied the statue and put it in this memorial place, and I went to go ahead and painted it. But when I got there, I didn't have my canvas. For whatever reason, I remember to bring everything except for the thing to paint on, which was my surface, my canvas. But fortunately, I had a box, an Amazon box, sitting in my car, and I decided to continue and just paint with the box. But I love it because the box created some certain effects and textures with the paint. There were certain things that like made it challenging, so like it created this interesting, vibrant color effect, while also giving it like this extra texture around the side. So that was fun. That was fun. And whoops. Here's a fun little portrait I did. So these are portraits based on Vincent van Gogh's drawing. So he drew these two characters, and I went ahead and painted them. And it's just like a fun little piece, fun little practice piece. I think it's a pretty picture, wouldn't you say? That's a couple little shares. A little bit of a share for you. And then let's see what color I have here right now. I'm gonna go like so. All right, I see what I got to do, and that's what we're going to do. And I see some issues here that I got to work on. So right here, this knuckle is a bit too...
Overnight, you can look for mostly clear skies, with temperatures around 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now, it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit.
And here we go, so... Yeah, well, that was like those were a couple pieces, and then I'll share a couple in a few more moments. I just want to tighten up a couple more areas in here.
Are you going to be up when I get home?
What time are you going to be home?
Probably 9:15.
Maybe, I don't know.
Stay up.
Okay. All right, so I think we're almost done here. What do I need to do? That's okay. That looks okay. This needs a bit more shadow. Huh? Takes 30 minutes? Wow. It's okay. And let's go a bit more, just a little bit more to touch this up here. Just a bit more. This needs to go just a bit tighter. And that shadow needs to be a bit more separated. Let's use this red that we had going on, and we're going to go around and just tighten up these little gaps here.
Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6 p.m.
I'm going to reduce the size of this thumb. It's just to tighten up some of the edges that we have. And I want to do just a little bit more around the bicep here. A little bit more around the bicep. Let's bring this in just a bit more. I'm gonna bring this knuckle in just a bit more.
Alright, bye.
All right, later. See ya.
Place it. Where's your foot? It's on the table.
Okay. All right. Well, we're done. I'm done with this. Actually, you know what? A couple more areas to work on. I remember there's this little part back here that needs some more shadow. So I need to darken this space a little bit. This part right here kind of disappears, but it's not supposed to. And let's go around. I want to create just a nice subtle little separation right there. Use some shadow, use some whatever. And I think we're just gonna leave this, actually a little bit more. I need to get rid of this. The shadow's a little too much, and I need to add some more highlight down there. So we got a little bit more, actually. Not quite out of the danger zone yet. But we can start getting a little wild with our... By the way, Marianne, I don't know if you were here for the early part of this conversation. But earlier I was talking about, you sound like an artist, you like to draw or something. And I don't know if you were here for the early part of this conversation, but what I was saying at the beginning of this video was this idea of how your personal unique style is going to come from your habits plus your personal creative interests. And yeah, I just thought I'd share that again. Might be inspirational, maybe it'll help you find a unique way of doing something. Maybe it'll help you find a unique way of doing something. So this hard line is still a little bit too hard here. So we're gonna go. So just a little bit blended in. And that powder arm disappears a little bit. Yeah, I have to shift to acrylic, I know. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Just like when you've invested so much into something, it's like, do I really want to start anew? I might be able to tone it down a little just since people are watching, but not hard. So here we go. Yeah, acrylic might be a good. I'll have to try. I probably will try acrylic one day. One of these days. And let's see, a little down here. A little around the knuckle. Oh. No, but when I go on the half hit, you have to do something. On the half, on the half, on the half. Yes. I agree. When I'm live, there's something I need to do about that. So here we go. But I totally appreciate you sharing that it can be bothersome. It's definitely bothersome to me as well. And let's go. All right, well, we are gonna call this one a complete, and now's the time to break things up and to let loose a little bit. Actually, you know what? We're gonna keep this one pretty standard. Just leave this as it is. Should I leave this or should I go with my usual effects? I think I'm gonna go with my usual effects. Sometimes it's hard to choose what too good on you. No, you're right. You are totally right. I think about it. Like I'm like, it's gotta be annoying to hear an artist continue coughing. So I totally appreciate that. It's great. And I got to realize that some people are just watching to just enjoy, and it totally does not help. And since you are spending the time here, these are things that I need to know to minimize the experience for people that are here. So for that, I appreciate it. So here we go. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go bring that in and bring some of this other color in. Let's go bring some of the darker blue in right here. I put the in Van Gogh. That was a joke. So here we go. We're gonna go boom, 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 boom. We're gonna really what's too good on you. Yeah, and here we go. So throwing on some of these lighter tones, these lighter shades right into here. Note to self, I do need to study how Vincent likes to do these transitions. I've always been obsessed with how he does his line work here. I guess he puts them much closer together. They're much tighter. And let's keep this flowing. So we're gonna go, let's go with a little bit of pink pop here. And here we go. Making this add some extra texture to the hands. So here we go. And then let's go add some shadows. Shadows are just going to be blue and a little bit darker, but not too much. Get some more of that. And just making something a little bit more fun. And there we go. All right. All right. Well, take care, Marianne. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for being here. And yeah, thanks for the chat. I know I wasn't, towards the end of this project, I know I wasn't totally chatty. But, next time we'll catch each other at an earlier time when I've totally got that momentum, and we will have some fun. But I'm glad I was able to help you go to sleep. And here we go. So right here. now what I want to do is I want to lay down some bigger areas of paint. So we're going to use this brush. We're going to take our vermilion and we're just going to go on, lay into this. And here we go. So pop this in, give it some movement. Pop it into the arm a little bit. And let's like merge these two areas together. Let's do that with and there we go. So we've got this arm, and we're gonna call this actually a little bit more on the hand, just a little bit more. Alright, so I need to do this one little part right here. In the arm, the shadow's a little bit too much. I think that did it, so we're going to call this finished for now. And that's a wrap on today. Possibly be back later, but this is about as much paint thinner or a mineral spirits that I can handle for a couple hours. And standing. So we'll take a little break. And we'll see you at another time. Let's see, some final words of inspiration is, if you can lean into your own habits, if you can really figure out what it is that makes you you, and it doesn't have to be super unique, right? Like, you don't have to have some special talent like being able to stick your finger through your ear or into your eye and like wiggle it around. You don't have to have like some crazy talents. Like, whatever your habits are, something as simple as being a total perfectionist, or a total not perfectionist, but you can like glue stuff together in really interesting and crazy ways. If you can lean into those habits and really know how they meet your inspirations and the things that inspire you, you'll be able to come up with a personal style really nice and easy. And with that, thank you for being here. Let's take a little break. So have a great night, everybody, and goodbye.